The Po' Boy Pundits podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery Media presents Po' Boy Pundits with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the political headlines that grab our attention and all those little jerks that infuriate
Where
us.
to begin? It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's been a long 8 days. We'll just
Don't
say.
worry, nothing's happened.
At all.
Nothing. Yeah.
So, did the second leak come out last time we had talked? Doesn't matter, because one of the guys is already fired.
Well, no, he's shifting them around. Because
Oh.
Waltz is going to be he's the new nominee for the UN ambassador. Because, that's the dude you want.
God.
Yeah, in the UN for the United States, somebody who adds journalists to their secret
You know what? That's
chats.
fine. That's fine, because one of those signal chats is going to come out, and he will be soliciting a trans
Minor.
prostitute that is 16 in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy, man.
Or in New York City, but yeah.
Or New Orleans, or wherever he.
Well, that's where the
chooses.
UN is.
Yeah, but he still can. They have UN. Never mind. Okay. So
That
fuck
aside,
that guy.
yeah.
Fuck that guy.
No, I think they're still trying to find a viable candidate to replace Hegseth, but
You think that's what it is?
that's what I would hope.
Like someone
it is.
who's like Hegseth, but not a drunk?
Yeah, and possibly somebody with a better military background.
Who was the general that was had his finger all up in Trump's ass?
Oh, fuck you. I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay. All right. And I'm not talking about like the skinny guy who goes on TV now. Motherfucker.
Yeah, see, that's what,
Okay. So you think that's what it is? They're just waiting to find somebody. I can't
That's
believe
what I
they
hope.
just shuffled. What does he have pictures of Trump naked? Why wouldn't they just make him go away?
I don't know. Probably because in the end he ended up taking the bullet on it.
Fair enough.
And-
you do this, and we'll give you
yeah.
this. There's no way he still needs to get confirmed for this.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like he didn't get confirmed before. So
Right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he doesn't affect any, re-election or midterm campaigns, which is why they took Stefanik off
Oh right.
for that, because they wanted to hold that seat and not have a special election.
See, there is someone with brains somewhere in there. Because that's a
fucking, an 18-year-old who's taking a civics class could figure that one out. Like,
well. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't take a
college
degree.
Well, and what we're saying, like, that's the bare minimum. And and granted, I understand it. We're going like, oh, somebody with some sense here,
right.
Like,
And then you step back and go, somebody with sense is relatively speaking within.
right.
Like not. So you're right. 18-year-old with basic civics knowledge.
Yeah.
Like
That understand, like, oh, if this person is removed from this office,
how about this?
This is what happened.
An 18-year-old who can explain what the Declaration of Independence means to them.
Yes.
Besides,
How about that?
it's a Declaration of Independence. It's beautiful.
It's about unity.
It's about unity.
That
Did you
poor
see the-
journalist.
Right.
Because you kind of want to go like, there had to be so many follow-up questions, and inside that man's head, he has to self-edit so much that you're just like, all you're left with is like the Jonathan Swan face, like,
Right.
what?
That's what he.
The fuck?
I really hope that guy set Trump up for that, but he didn't because of the face. Like you just said, he was like, the fuck? What? Like his other interview with the tattoos. He's like, look, I don't care. Believe what you want to. I have other questions to be on. Trump would not let it go.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, he's gonna harp on anything that's going to prove him right.
He had New Times Roman, like
you beat me to it. Like,
right,
yeah.
like that's
yeah. Well, I mean, you have tattoos. What other fonts do you have?
right. Oh look, it's Old English.
Yeah, like
I was 18 in the 90s.
That's MS-13 in wingdings.
Right. It was like hieroglyphics.
Oh.
So you mean to tell me you have someone on your staff that can decode these tattoos?
Right, yeah.
To MS-13.
It's called Chat GPT.
What the fuck? And he was arguing this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
even as the journalist was going, okay, let's move on. I have so many other questions.
Well, and that's what I mean, and not to harp back on it, but like even his interview style is the same way that Steve Bannon talked about. Like, we're just going to put out so much nonsense, nobody can focus on any one thing. Which was like in the Kristen Welker interview, she actually asked him a very good question, which I get it. She's growing into that role.
Right.
I didn't like her at the very beginning, but she asked Trump, when does the Biden economy stop? And Trump was like, well, the good things happening right now are mine. And all the bad things are Biden. And it was such a ridiculous answer that she was like stunned. Like, why would you admit that?
Right.
Like so now we know everything's bullshit.
Carolyn Levitt, they had somebody put together a clip of how many times she's mentioned Biden or the previous administration in the first 100 days.
Right.
And it was like 60 something.
Sure.
Almost one a day. She mentions that man or that administration. That's 100 days. So that's not all. Like, she's not doing press briefings on a Sunday. So once a day, she mentions. Every time she speaks, she mentions them.
And that's the part, too, like...
So I'm glad she called Trump out on it.
Yeah, well, I mean...
not called him out, but just asked the question.
Yeah, but was asking about it. And, of course, like... Again, that's gonna play, it's gonna play well with his base, but...
Yeah, but at some point, even...
Anybody with 2 cents in their head... that goes, like, if you're asking an economic question, like, he's fucked with the tariffs enough.
Right.
That this is now his. Like,
it was his 3 weeks ago.
Correct. But, or it was his once he took the oath of office again. But even then you go, like, okay, like, anybody can grant there are residual effects.
Yes.
And normally it's for several years. It's at least, like, for the first 2 years.
Right, until the midterms. Yeah.
But this is like he fucked with the market so much. This is now 100% his economy.
Absolutely.
Because you can't even go back now because like egg prices have still been going up. Gasoline has been going up, then slightly going down.
And
depending on where you live, of course.
Yeah, and he's so dumb that he won't go. He doesn't want to look like a failure.
Right.
So he will never back off. He will just keep digging that hole deeper.
Yeah.
And back and forth and back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Well, and again, it'll be the, even if it's something that they have on video, like, I never said that. Like, even on the last campaign when they kept bringing up Charlottesville, and he was like, I never said that. And it's like, it's on fucking video. But,
So, all right, so now moving on.
It's like working with high school kids. They just gaslight you all the time. I never said that. Like, you literally just said that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what... They're trolls. They just gaslight. And a third of America eats that shit up.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be the next pope now, too.
But I mean...
So those images came out, and then the anti-Trump images came out, where it was like... not the Pope, but the dump, and he was dressed in like an emoji shit.
Yeah.
Or never mind. You get the picture. But
well, I looked at it.
Him personally.
Yeah.
His Truth Social account.
But
posted this.
Him retweeting that or posting it, yeah, whatever it is. But that it just reminded me of like this idea of conservative Catholics trying to jump on board with this evangelical movement and being like, no, we're with you. And you're going
Yeah,
like this is an example of like they don't give two fucks about Catholics because they don't think Catholics are real. They think it's it's paganism, right?
Yeah, no.
And so
except Mike Johnson.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, but you're just going like, and you still have people out there. And I'm not going to get it. It's like, and we don't need to waste time with it.
No.
But the TikTok trend of like cradle Catholics versus converts and this nonsense. But it's like, it doesn't matter because
cradle Catholics.
The evangelical movement will never accept Catholics into it because
Catholics are fucking crazy.
Well, not only that, but the whole point of the evangelical movement is a continuation of the Reformation, which is to get away from the church. So, but, and then you have your leaders saying like, oh, effectively putting out the message like I should be the next leader of this, and going like you don't meet you don't even meet the main criteria.
He's never been confirmed.
Well, he's not Catholic.
Well, even if he was, though, right?
No, but he's not. Like
I know. I was going to say, but being back, like you have never. Been
any Catholic can become pope. You could become pope.
Oh.
But you have to be. That's the main that you just have to be Catholic.
Well, I'm Catholic.
Yeah, you have to be baptized and confirmed.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what I was just trying to say. But baptized and confirmed.
And that even includes converts. So like J.D. Vance could be like that. But
I'm a cradle.
Yeah, Trump is not of any of that ilk.
Does he? Never mind. I don't care. Whatever. So speaking on the Pope, what do we have? Over under because it starts Wednesday. God, you know what? We should have looked online and saying, what the sports books got. Well, I think the liberal branch is looking at the Filipino archbishop or cardinal, which makes sense.
But I mean, come to think of it, it hasn't been since before John Paul II that we had an Italian, so we're probably due.
Conservative, right? Because again, Italian. So that's usually the way it works, right?
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
Crazy, which politics, whatever you want to talk. But yes, that's how it does. Unless everybody comes together and finds someone kind of in that middle wedge, but
it also, I mean, to talk about like politics of it too, is that it's also they will take into consideration too, like how many potential openings are going to be within the curia, within the cardinals. So like, I mean, like Francis was like, I mean, on that level in terms of appointments was like Trump. He came in and a bunch of dudes retired or died, and he was able to replace close to like 50% of the cardinals and expand it out.
Because the Pope does
makes those decisions. So if it's one of those things where they're like, well, the curia is not going to be changing wholesale for a while, then they might take an old conservative Italian who's only got maybe 5 years.
They have
put him up there, effectively not able to do anything, and then bide your time. Somebody else builds
Kobe
up.
dies.
Well, I mean,
yeah. Parolin.
That's why you got to look at the ages of the dudes too.
So which one's Parolin? Because right now USA Today has him with the best betting odds.
Yeah. But nobody really knows because they keep the whole thing secret.
God damn it! I want to be a fly in there so fucking bad.
So I told you. I mean,
so bad.
We were talking about last time 2 weeks ago. If they just a single camera in the corner.
Man, I want to.
We don't even need audio.
No.
We
talked about it before. I want to be there so fucking.
Just have monks chanting.
I would pay. 25.
The following segment has been brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. The Po' Boy Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion. Marketing by Brock Ryder. Graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion. Music by the Heisenberg Compensators.